What's up guys, welcome to episode 1 of the series Hyperfit with Kwame, and today what I'm going to be showing you is how to grow your arms. Growing your arms, every day's arms day, you know. I say that all the time on my YouTube, my Instagram. I'm actually going to show you the breakdown, everything I personally use to grow my arms. But before we get training guys, I know everyone wants to look fresh in the gym, and what I've got here is my Rider Wear fresh apparel to help accentuate those gains. Guys, if you do want to purchase any Rider Wear apparel for male and female, use my code Kwame10 and let's get to it. Before we start any workout, you gotta ensure you're doing a good warm-up, and that's always number one guys. Your joints, your muscles always need to be taken care of. What I'll personally recommend is about 20% of your max weight for a warm-up. Something you can do nice and comfortably, and also get that blood flowing through. So what we're going to start with today are the elements of hypertrophy. And the first thing we're going to be doing with biceps is activation. So we're going to be doing our biceps first, then our triceps. Of course, our triceps are bigger muscle groups, but I personally find biceps harder to train. And I can also lift a lot less weight than my triceps, so I always go with that first. Also, while we are on the warm-up phase and we are trying to activate these muscles, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a trick. Now, some of you would want to work the peak of your biceps, okay? And as simple as this may sound, this will come in handy while you do your exercises. So the first things first, making sure I'm bracing my core so I have this balance here and stability. Next thing is I'm going to actually bring the weight up. And one of the main things and the most important things here is actually rotating my wrist so I can feel the activation of my peak. Now, once my wrist is rotated, I can get a little bit of a squeeze here. This is called an isometric hold. An isometric hold can come in handy while doing your workouts. This can also be really good if you're not feeling the muscles you're working. And one rule I believe in is to always make sure you're feeling what you're working. So it's not just a workout, you want to feel everything. Even when you're going heavy, you still want to feel everything. So the first thing we're talking about, activation. Activation of the muscles, going through a full range of motion is one of the best things I love while doing a warm-up. Nice control, getting that squeeze, giving a few seconds while I'm up here. Now, if you go up and you still can't feel the peak of your muscles or you can't feel that squeeze, what you want to do here is something neurological. You want to get that brain connected to muscles. Little trick here, guys. You can do this at home while watching this. You don't even need no weights, okay? Come up, twist, tap that bicep, okay? Now let's start doing this for a few times. Get a few reps out, and you should start to feel those biceps activate. At this point, your biceps should feel like they're rock solid, they're about to explode. Awesome. So now that we've hit that activation phase, it's time to actually challenge ourselves with a bit more weight. And we're going to be using a process called the progressive overload technique, where we actually add more tension to the muscles and challenge them to grow. With our progressive overload technique, we're just increasing the weight, as simple as that. This can be done in so many different ways, but this is just one of them. What we're going to be doing is a unilateral bicep curl. So quite similar to what we were doing before, lifting the weight up and twisting. But now we're going to be alternating between both arms. So one over here, one over there. Now with my unilateral bicep curl, what I'm going to be doing is trying to challenge myself and working within a rep range of 12 to 15. The reason for such a high rep range in the start is my muscles are still getting warm and still getting used to this heavier weight that's being brought upon them. So this is not exactly my heaviest weight, but this is something that can still challenge the muscles. I can get a great pump, I can get great activation, and I can get those microscopic tears that I'm aiming for to grow those biceps. You can see how my my talking is cutting out because now I'm actually having to concentrate. And while we're here, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about breathing. One of the most important things I find while training is to make sure we control our breathing. Breathing increases the efficiency of our workout. So while I'm going up with the weights, I'm making sure I'm taking a deep breath out And on my way down, taking the deep breath in. Awesome, guys. I hope you guys are following through. If you do enjoy this, make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe button, yada, yada, yada. Let's go. All right, our next thing we're going to be doing is a preacher curl. Now, our next phase we're going to be working on is control. And the best part of control is you can actually feel everything. Like I said, that's one of the most important things about training. You gotta make sure you feel that muscle work. Now, being in a isolated position with a preacher curl, while we control the weights, we only going for gold. We're already locking those biceps in and we're going to be able to control it. Then we can actually add that technique from before, the progressive overload, where we slowly increase that weight after. Now I've only got 5 kilos on each side, which is quite light for me, but it's going to allow me to feel the muscles and get that control. So I'll just show you what I'm doing here. Grab the weights and control it down. When I come up to the top as well, I'm going to give it a bit of a squeeze. Now it's time for us to hit those big weights. I'm sure you guys have all been waiting for this. I've got 30 kilos here. I know this might be a warm-up for some of you guys, but for me, this is heavy. We've already been through the activation phase. We've done some control. Now it's time to lift heavy with the biceps a bit. Now I'm going to use a crazy technique over here. What we're going to be doing is a nice control on the biceps for the first 2 reps. After that, we're going to be quite exhausted, especially using heavy weights. So we're going to go through something called power reps for the next 4 reps. During a hammer curl, a hammer curl is such a less complicated movement and quite simple. So while our form could be in jeopardy during this time, it is important to use an exercise that's really easy to execute. So we are going to be doing a hammer curl here. First, pick up that weight. Oh, I feel it in my bones, okay? Make sure we're bracing our core. Nice control, especially on the way down. Control on the way down, good. Maintaining form and technique, just to give that little bit of activation to the muscles. And now it's time for power reps. So a little bit faster, making sure we're still squeezing our biceps at the top of the movement. I can already feel my biceps ripping apart through that movement. And that's what you want to feel, guys. And just a disclaimer here, I do not want anyone ripping their biceps apart. This is what I'll do personally. But honestly, this is what I personally find takes to help grow the muscles. And we're going to talk about more later. But let's move on to some triceps, because those are actually the bigger parts of our arms. Done our biceps, let's move on to triceps. You can use quite a few different movements. I'm just trying to show you, for the purpose of education, different techniques or elements that I would use to grow my biceps. Awesome, now let's move on. Let's go. Now it's time to hit those big weights. Now I've got some 30 kilos here. We are going to be doing some hammer curls. The reason for hammer curls are, it is a less complicated movement, and when we are going heavy, it is easier for us to keep our form. Now what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be using a really cool technique here. We're going to be doing 2 reps only, really nice and controlled, so we can feel that tension on the muscles. And once we've got those, we're going to be going for 4 reps called power reps. These are going to be much faster reps. At this point, we're also going to be getting tired, so it is easier to do power reps at this time. So I'm gonna pick up my weight, brace my core. Nice control on the biceps. Feeling that squeeze as I come up. Oh yeah. Feeling my bones. Now it's time for some power reps. Alright guys, don't do this. Do not do this. The first rule of triceps is leave your ego at the door. Reduce that weight. And let's work with an activation phase. Our first exercise we're going to be doing is a rope push down. I love this exercise, great for activation. What I'm going to be doing here is start by pumping as much blood into the muscle. I'm going to start with a really, really high rep range. Most of you probably don't do this. This is going to be about 25 reps of this. Just really nice control and rotating my wrist out, making sure I can really feel that triceps. When I get down, I give you a little bit of a squeeze as well. Again, ego left at the door, using some nice lightweight, and I'm sure most of you could rep this up for 1,000,000 reps, but you know, it's all about feeling the muscle. As I said previously, we're going to be using a different form or element of hypertrophy in the activation technique to kill our triceps. So, hope you guys are ready for this. Stay with me. While we're up here, we are going to be doing a technique called slow concentrics, and basically just pulling the weight down as slow as possible, feeling our triceps, and then when we get to the peak of the movement, which is the bottom, we are going to squeeze our triceps for about 3 seconds, okay? We're gonna come down over 5 seconds, and I'm gonna count with you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull my wrist out, 1, 2, 3. Bring it down in a controlled manner. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring my wrist out, 1, 2, 3. Bring it up, control. So I can do about 6 to 8 reps of this. Get that nice squeeze. Great for activation. I can already feel my triceps burning. I haven't even done much. Nothing crazy, no crazy heavy weights. I can feel it. And my triceps are already burning. A great exercise for triceps, guys. Again, do not try and swing your way around like you're dancing around in the nightclub. I know you guys love to party, but this is our party over here, and here we do it right. All you want to do is focus on that muscle that you're working. Get a nice range of motion, slow down the movements as well. Feel that activation, feel the muscles get pumped. Moving on, we have a close grip bench press with an easy curl bar. I love the easy curl bar because it's really easy on the wrist, especially when you're about to put more weight on there. What we're going to be doing for this one is just nice control. 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down. So it's all about controlling that weight while we've got quite a lot of load on there. A really, really simple and easy exercise to execute. Personally, I prefer to lock out right at the top and get a nice little tricep squeeze as well. So when I get this up, keep my chest up, coming down in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Elbows in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I prefer this after doing a nice warm up on the cable, because at this point my triceps are already warmed up and they are ready for a load. I'm still keeping quite a bit of control for this, and then I'll increase the weight and do some more power reps. Awesome, now that I've increased the weight, it's time to go through. Again, 2 nice controlled reps and then 4 power reps. awesome. That really challenged me, even just by adding a little bit of weight on there. Now, if you don't feel challenged enough after that, you can continue to increase that weight and put more tension on the triceps. So our last exercise we are going to be doing is a close grip push-up. This is a great exercise because it can be done from a beginner to an intermediate to an advanced level, and you're still gonna feel it. You are going to be moving your body weight after all. A great way to regress this exercise is to get on your knees as opposed to going on your toes. One of the things we are going to be changing with the close grip push-up is, again, our control. So what we're going to be doing is we're gonna come down on the ground, get on our toes or our knees, control that down. When we get down here, we're gonna pulse. So just nice short one and then come up. So the pulse rep is also adding a little bit more tension to the muscles. So I'm gonna come down, pulse, and then up. Pulse, and then up. Pulse, and then up. So that's our last element that we're talking about, which is just adding the pulse to increase that tension on the muscle. We're not going super fast with this one. We're still controlling our push-ups, but we also add in another element like the pulse rep that can add more tension to the muscle. At this point, our muscles should be quite rigged from our training already. So adding this pulse in there, just right at the peak of the movement, it's actually going to create so much extra damage to the muscle, and this is what we want. We want those little microscopic tears so we can get those gains. Awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed these workouts. I hope you guys have learned something from it. If you have, make sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe for more. Now, before we move on to our next thing, what I want to talk about is our frequency with training, because I know a lot of people ask, should I be training arms every day? Should I be training every 2 days or 3 days or 4 days? Now, it depends on each individual and your recovery, okay? If you do recover quick enough to train it, then train it again. So make sure that your body is actually recovered, the arms are recovered before you hit them again, if you are looking to grow your arms. That's my personal opinion. When it comes to nutrition as well, if you are trying to grow, you have to be eating in a caloric surplus. It means eating more than your body is actually burning, because your body does need that energy, your body does need that recovery, so you can actually put on some more mass as well. Growing arms is such a fun thing because you get to see your body change. It brings so much more shape to your body. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that workout. I hope you guys learned a lot from it. And if you did, make sure you drop it in the comments below. Show some support. Share this around with your mates so they can benefit from it too. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on episode 2. Enjoy it, and thank you again. Make sure you share this with your mates, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. I'm out. Peace.